Good morning. We skipped a couple days. Now today is Friday. It's about 8 days later, so it's past 1 week since I did chemotherapy. I feel really good. This time my feet are a little puffy, but we stayed up on our feet a lot the last few days. We had a LuLaRoe pop up. And then Sherry came and she took her LuLaRoe clothes and she left me this little sign. Look at this. Yeah, it's so nice when you have shopping in your own living room. They just bring. That's another thing, you guys. If you know LuLaRoe, or if you could look up LuLaRoe, and you can't really get out and go shopping, they could bring it to your house, and you and your friends could have your own little private shopping thing. They're super stretchy clothes. They're easy to get on and get off. So if you're having problems right now moving around and you can't get out, you could call a LuLaRoe consultant, and they will bring it to your house. They have a little thing they call them pop-ups. I'm doing some Awaken right now. I put Awaken in my diffuser. I'm putting some Awaken on my face and my hands. I feel a little tired. I put some oils on. Young Living is the one that I use. There it goes. I have a little diffuser on. I did a video with the diffusers, but it didn't really come out that good because we were all excited and I was jostling the computer all over the place, and I don't really have a good system for making videos except for using the computer. So that video, I didn't really look at it yet. I don't think I'm going to be able to use it unless I could figure out how to edit it, because I know that we were excited to open up the kiln and take out the diffusers. And now we gave the diffusers back to Sherry, so I don't even have any to show you unless I find that video and fix it. So Awaken smells really good. It just kind of makes me feel like I want it on me. Put some oil in your hair, massage your scalp, flush your hair, especially if you don't have any. Give your little head massage. Smile. Smiling makes you instantaneously feel better. So I just want to wake up. So I don't know, something says awaken on it. I'm putting it on when I want to wake up. You know, especially if you're bald headed, you got nothing to lose. Put some oil on your skull. Some of these oils can get through your blood-brain barrier. The frankincense can get through. I think the myrrh can get through. There's something sticky on the floor over here. I keep stepping on it. I think it's watermelon. Put some on your spine. If the oil starts burning you, you could put some V6 oil with it. Put some of this on. Sometimes if you're not used to oils, then the oils will be a little hot on your skin. So I bless my hair, I bless my skin, I bless my hearing, I bless my spine, I bless my thyroid, I bless my glands, I bless my throat, I bless my teeth, I bless my tongue, I bless my digestive tract, I bless my heart. Do some deep breathing. Put your hands out. You act like you're holding pies like this. See, I got my hands way up here, but really you hold your hands here. Act like you're holding two pies. When you hold two pies, it instantly opens up your chest area. And breathe. I'm always shutting my eyes when I breathe, but have your hands out like you're holding pies. Straighten out your shirt because everybody's looking at your buttons. Don't worry about my buttons. Breathe your diffuser. Deep breathing. Right now we have Awaken is in the diffuser too. Same thing that I just put on my hair, I have it on my diffuser. So have a LuLaRoe pop up at your house. I'm telling you, you'll never regret it. Stretchy pants. Oh, here you go. Look at these leggings. These are the LuLaRoe leggings. I think I showed you guys a different pair. But they are like super stretchy. You know what I mean? It's like you can move around in them. You need to be mobile. You need to be able to move. So, you need to get something on your body that's flexible. They come way up high on your body. So if you got anything cut up down here, then these things are so stretchy. You know what I mean? They are stretchy. Woo. So when you put them on, though, they just suck right to your little body and they stay put right where you put them. So you kind of want to have something flexible on your body so that you're not restricted in your movements. You want your lymphatic system to be able to flow, and tight things bind it up. It barely takes any pressure at all to inhibit your lymphatic system from flowing. So you want to be wearing tight bands on things. Like if you have rubber bands and if you do have long hair, don't be wrapping your hands up with rubber bands. And bras, as much as possible, just don't wear a bra because all that binding going on around your chest is stopping your lymphatic system from flowing. And it's like if you've ever gotten one of those scans done where they put injections around your nipple to see which lymph node has like your super node, the one that sucks up the most poison out of your system, that's the one they go after when they're checking for cancer. I gotta drink water. So they call that nuclear medicine. So they lay you on the table, and then they inject right around your nipple with some radioactive BS. And then your lymphatic system sucks that up because that's poison. And when you watch it on the little TV screen, you just see it racing into the lymph nodes. Our lymphatic system is amazing how fast it works. And then that's what they do. They take a little Geiger counter then, and then they find the lymph node that has the strongest Geiger counter reading on it. And that's the one they cut out when they want to see if you got cancer in your lymph nodes. Well, now you don't have your super lymph node. There might be 2 or 3 of them that are the best working ones out of the whole batch, and now you don't even have them. So your lymphatic system gets compromised. Sometimes they just scoop out all of your lymph nodes. Now you have no natural drainage going on. So it's real important, like at that point in your life, that now you got to keep your hand wrapped up. You got to keep a little pressure on this, and that's the only way that you're going to get that poison. Like when you work out and you're using your muscles, which I do a lot of, I'm always working doing something, then the lymphatic fluid, it can't really get back up because it lost the system that traveled it out. So now the only way you could do it is by wrapping it tight. Like really elevating it, that doesn't really work. The key to this problem is wrapping things tight. Sometimes, like today, because when they retransplanted my lymph nodes back up under my arm, when they did all the surgery to remove this breast, and then they used my stomach to reconstruct my breast, then they took lymph nodes from down here because they said that they were going to waste them anyway. So they took them and they transplanted them back up underneath this arm. Well, now this arm does not swell up because that transplant worked. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if you can see, but my arms look, they're pretty match set. There you go. And you can see like this hand over here, you can't see the veins in it because the hand still gets a little puffy. Oh man, here goes the dog. So if you have that option to get some lymph nodes transplanted back underneath your arm, then that's not a bad option. But the only thing is now, because they wasted a few lymph nodes from down here, now I could get a little swelling in this whole leg. It's not bad, it doesn't happen very often, but when I do a lot of physical labor, if I'm on my feet a lot, I'll notice that this right leg, it will swell a little bit. The foot swells. But that still has a lymphatic system, so it don't take long and it catches back up again. So it only happened like once lately. So you can put some Awaken. You can take this stuff and you can put it right here underneath your nose if you want to smell it. Some of them are really hot, so you don't want to put them in your eyes. But this one's really, really fresh. It's blowing right out my window. I'm going to shut my window. Maybe it'll blow in the house now. See, that's why I put it up. I want to put this thing hanging from the ceiling because I feel like it just kind of goes down too fast. I know that it gets out into the house a little bit, but this one's really like fuming good today. Must know that I need to wake up. I have to drink water because I feel like little swellings here and there. You can flush them out drinking water. So anyway, this one glass is gone. We have another glass. Wapanopono. I just fill up 2 glasses from the get-go because I know I'm gonna drink them. Then sometimes I start making a product in 1 glass of water, and I still want another glass of water to drink. So just fill up 2 glasses of water. Sometimes my glasses match, so maybe you don't even notice that I have 2 different glasses, but I always have 2 glasses of water, at least 2 going when we're doing this, and when I drink my waters in the morning. Oh my God. Hang on a second. Okay, Clarence just freaks me out because I see him out there eating some brown, looks like a turd, and it's a wood chip. So I just put some treats outside for the dogs. Holy cow. That was gross. I thought he was eating, just chomping down on a turd. Alright, so today I think I need to make something shake. Shaky shake. Oh man. There it is. Alright, so this is the reason why when I use the Ninja, I wash it right away because now the kids use it and they just stuck it in the dishwasher. So now for me to be able to use it, I can't just pick it up and use it. I gotta wash it first. Okay, so I had to wash it first because the kids were making shakes yesterday and they just threw this thing in the dishwasher. So like when I use it, I always just rinse it out right away because then it becomes a hassle to clean it because now things are stuck to it. And now I turned the ice machine back on the other day, so today I get to have a cold shake. That other shake was just, ugh, it was hard going down. It was just room temperature. So he says to put in here about 1/4 of a cup. So I guess a couple of these are 1/4 of a cup. This is Dr. Schultz Super Meal. You can look it up on his website and see what's all in here. Super Meal, Dr. Schultz. He's the herb doc. www.herbdoc.com. Dr. Schultz. Super Meal. Called it the right thing today. I'm going to use some Advocare Arginine. So Arginine, this one here, it goes through your veins and it relaxes the muscles around your veins so that your veins can open up more. So Arginine Extreme is a workout product. Today I need to go work out in my garden. I have to truly, honestly, this time go out there and get the weeds out and plant a few flowers and some vegetables. I gotta get my vegetable garden in. I just do a little tiny vegetable garden. So I just put 1 scoop of that. Ooh, maybe I could get some help. My oldest daughter asked me what I'm doing today. Gardening. Maybe she'll come over and get in the garden with me. Alright, and some post-workout recovery shake. I'm going to put this in here because I try to recover before. I have to recover before I can work in the garden. Plus, this stuff just tastes really good. So whatever I have else in my shake, the post-workout recovery, it makes it taste good. These have this one has whey protein in it, but the other one is vegan. I'm not a vegan, so it's not freaking me out to have the whey protein, but I prefer the vegan protein. Let's see, has he got vegan on here? Well, Dr. Schultz is usually against anybody eating meat or using whey protein. So his protein he has in here is 10 grams of protein, and that's in a quarter cup. And his ingredients don't include anything that has to do with meat or milk. But Avocare does. Avocare has whey protein. Maybe I'm lying. It says soy protein powder. Also, they changed it on Avocare. They changed it. It's soy protein, so if you're worried about that. Mass impact. These are amino acids. It's L-leucine, glycine, alanine, glutamine, L-glutamine, Alanl. Alanl. So I'm going to put some mass impact in here. So whatever, this is an Avocare product. I put it in the notes what the web page is for this. But I use a lot of Avocare products. I got started on these quite a few years ago using their cleanse. Avocare has a really nice 10-day cleanse. It's the most gentlest cleanse that I think is out there on the market today. It's a 10-day cleanse, so it gets you into 10 days of drinking water, taking fiber, taking probiotics, detoxing your liver, gently scrubbing the lining of your intestines, removing pollutants and toxins out of your blood. You could do that cleanse. You can just eat fruits and vegetables. It's not a fasting kind of a cleanse. So for 10 days, you do not eat any cooked food. No, well, you could eat steamed vegetables, but I'm saying fried food. No fried food, no meat, no bread, no potatoes. Nothing that's going to slime your intestines. You need to eat fresh fruits and vegetables, salads, and at the end of the 10 days, you will feel pretty good. They got supplements that you take in the morning, supplements you take at night, and the probiotics begin on day 4. So that's when you really start moving out the waste, is on day 4. Once you add those probiotics, that really gets stuff churning in your intestines that has been laying there for a long time if you have never done a detox. So I would highly suggest Avocare's detox. If you want to get into detoxing and you don't know where to start, then the Avocare cleanse is the best, gentlest. It's the first cleanse that I ever did. So it got me on my road to happiness. And I think sometimes when you get the toxins cleansed out of your system, it does brighten your mood. It just cheers you up. Doesn't matter what your circumstances are, you still feel joyful. It's like sometimes you have these bad circumstances, but that shouldn't dictate your like how you feel inside your body, you know. What dictates how you feel inside your body has a lot to do with what is in your body, what we put in our body every day, and what we can't seem to be able to get back out. So, got to get cleansing. So that's what I'm putting in my shaky shake. Maybe a little bit more water. Maybe a little bit more water. So I have the kind that you just screw the cap on. And you can actually put a different cap on this thing and drink right out of the container. So that doesn't really take that long. Yeah, so just wash it off right away so that you're not next day don't feel too good, waking up. Sometimes you really just don't feel good when you first wake up and you gotta start working right away. It's nice if your things are clean in the morning so that when you wake up you don't have to start working, you can just start taking some stuff. So I just sprayed some Dr. Schultz detox. This is air detox, but anytime I start spraying it, I end up spraying it on myself, even though I say don't spray it in your eyes. Sometimes I get it in my eyes, but not a lot of times. It's very fresh. Sounds so echoey in here now that Sherry's clothes are gone. I feel like I'm talking really loud. So I suppose air detox can detox your body because it is all essential oils. It's lemon. It's eucalyptus, grapefruit, lime, lemon, and orange. Essential oils, 100%. So this is like a big bottle of essential oils. I don't know how Dr. Schultz makes his oils or if he gets them from somewhere else. I never really researched any of that. All I know is that when you run around your house spraying this air detox, it cleanses your air, it freshens your house. I think that it's good for my leather furniture. I really think like a little oil on your furniture isn't going to hurt it. And I don't use like furniture polish. All I do is get a rag wet and I wash my furniture. It's probably got enough oil on it from diffusing oils all the time. So I'm going to make a spark. Spark needs to be taken on an empty stomach. Spark's an animal care product. Okay, so this here one is all the vitamins that you need to properly coat your nerves so that your mind can make good transmissions. I think that sometimes our nerves get a little uncoated going through chemotherapy. You need to get coating back on your nerves like every day. So I got my little mixer. I just get the water stirring. Here we go. I'll just show you what I'm doing. They have the scooper right in the canister. So if you stir it while you're pouring it in, it'll get clumpy if you don't stir it while you're pouring it in. Some people just put a little bit of hot water in there, then they put their spark in. I mean, the people over here, everybody's got their own way of making it. So some of them just put a little hot water in here and then they put the spark in, dissolve it, and then they fill it up with cold water. But Spark is not a sipping drink. It's something that you make it and then you want to get it in your system. And sometimes it'll help you like hurry up and eliminate waste. Spark does have a little bit of caffeine in it. It has about as much as a 6-ounce cup of coffee. Forgot like what the grams on the caffeine is. So if you can't have caffeine, watch it. I'm gonna read this and it ain't even gonna be in there anymore. Yeah, it's 120 milligrams. I grew up on caffeine. We've been coffee drinkers ever since I was a teenager. I love a cup of coffee in the morning, but I really don't have coffee in the morning very often. I drink Spark because I know that a cup of coffee, like, what am I going to gain from it? What else is in it that's good for me? I never really heard any studies saying, oh, drink coffee, it does this, and this. But Spark, on the other hand, with a little bit of caffeine in it, the same thing we're trying to get out of a cup of coffee, other than the smell, the warmth, the memories of when you used to hang out in the kitchen with your mom. Like, I don't have those memories attached to a glass of Spark, but my kids sure have it. And they're like, oh yeah, my mom drinks Spark every day, you know. So if they ever see Spark or smell vitamins, they're gonna be bringing back their own childhood memories. Yeah. Smell of vitamin B. They'll probably bring them flashbacks all the way till they were born. I think I was about 45 when I got introduced to Spark. That's 10 years ago already. So I've been drinking the Spark for 10 years already, since I was like 45 years old. So that's crazy. Time goes by so fast. But me and the friends of mine that like Spark, we have Spark all the time. We've had it in our houses. If one of us runs out, we know where to go to one of our friends that has it, like Lita. If I call her up, I'm pretty sure she'll have some. If she calls me up, I'll have it. We don't ever seem to run out at the same time. And we will borrow 5 scoops to get us through until our order comes. Spark junkies. All right, so I have my shaky shake. This one here, I'm not gonna slam this down so fast. Let's just see how it tastes today. It's like a dream with ice in it. Oh, you know, when I was trying to drink this stuff warm the other day, you guys are lucky I didn't puke up on my computer. It tastes so much better with a couple ice cubes. Do yourself a favor, man. Use some really cold water. Throw the water in the freezer if you can't. Or throw your shake in there after you make it. Let it freeze down a little bit. So, Dr. Schultz Super Meal, you have to put this in a blender because it's all full of seeds and stuff. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's a chunky product. You see, he believes in using the whole food. So when you get his products, the whole item is in there. You gotta get it broken down, or else you'd be chewing seeds. It just smells like green stuff. His superfood though is not. It doesn't have chunks in it like that. So his superfood, you kind of just stir it up. All right. So my girlfriend, she wants to borrow my camper. So it's the 4th of July weekend. I gotta work. Yeah, somebody's having a LuLaRoe launch party in Minnesota. I wish I could go, but I'm pretty sure I gotta work. So she could just take my camper and she could go enjoy that weekend with her friend. So I don't know. Sometimes when I'm on here, maybe my life seems easy, but and you think, well, I don't have that, what she has. Well, I only have what I have because I've been working since I was 14 years old. That's a long time of working. That's like 40 something years. So in reality, for 40 something years of work, I really don't have that much. But I did raise my kids. My kids are older, so like things aren't as tense that way. I only have adult children living in my house. My youngest just got her driver's license a couple days ago. That was a hip hip hooray moment for me because I've been the chauffeur for 38 years straight. My kids are very spread out. So I've been driving kids around for 38 years straight. It is getting easier. And it does get easier, and it is not always a hard life. And even if it is a hard life, I just choose to be here. I have to still go to work because I need my insurance. I got insurance at work, so I take 2 days off. I go to chemotherapy. I use my FMLA, so you guys need to use your FMLA because that's what is the Family Medical Leave Act. It protects your job. If you have something like this going on, you could take an intermittent leave. You don't have to take it all at once. If you have a surgery or something, you maybe need a little bit more time off altogether. They give you like 12 weeks, but you could take a half a day. You could just use 4 hours. You could use 8 hours. If you got 12-hour shifts, you could use 12 hours. So get the clinic to work with you to connect your chemotherapy up to your days off so that you got time to recover. And if you're a good employee, the company will probably work with you. So I don't have like, as I've been at my job for 26 years. I've never really been goofing off on my job. I don't call in sick on my job. I only take time that I have come to me. But with this cancer, it just seems like there's no way to go through chemotherapy and not take some kind of time off. I was going back to work the next day after chemotherapy. And what I do at work is I run a power plant. I'm a unit operator at a power plant. And I came to my own conclusion that I have no business being in the control room of a power plant under the influence of all those drugs. They blur your vision, they cloud your thinking, they make you tired, they make you weepy, and they make you weak, they make your fingertips numb. All this stuff is going on in your body. You got to think about what you're doing for a living and the people that depend on you to keep them safe. And are you really keeping them safe if you dash back into work the next day after chemotherapy? So the first time that I ever did chemotherapy, the one that makes your hair fall out and stuff, I did that. I just went right back to work the next day. And I was in a horrible condition. I'm like, and then the next time, okay, I stayed healthy for a couple of years and then I caught some cancer again. So then I had to do that Taxotere stuff another time. And then, so the second time that I was going through that kind of chemotherapy, I was like, this is just ridiculous. I'm like, I have no business being here because maybe the first time it didn't really wipe me out as bad as the second time, but the second time I did it, I was like, it was really kicking my butt. So I just decided that I just need to use this FMLA. I have a program that the government put in place for me. The last time I just barely ever took a day off, even unless I went to chemotherapy. That was my one FMLA day that I would take. So I went back and I told the people at work that I really feel like I need this recovery time, that I wasn't doing so well. I called the FMLA. MetLife is our people that takes care of our stuff, or who knows who it was back then. And then I talk to the doctors, they all fill out paperwork, they go back and forth, and then they forward that to your company. And then when I got to take time off, I call the absence management team, the MetLife that handles ours, and I tell them that I'm going to need these 2 days off for chemotherapy, and I might report 4 days. If maybe I'll report more than just one, I might report two, and they'll encourage me, well, don't take it, call and report it, because then, until you're there taking the day off, because then you don't know what if it changes, and then you got to cancel it, and there's all this paperwork. Well, I'm not canceling my chemotherapy treatment. So I told her, I was like, I'm not going to take the time while I'm at treatment to call you and tell you that I'm at chemotherapy. I'm telling you right now today that I'm going to chemotherapy. This is a routine. It happens every 2 weeks, and I'm not changing it. And if I did change it, it's a rare occasion, and I guess I'll just have to pass the paperwork back and forth, because I'm not waiting until the last minute to report chemotherapy. It's a scheduled event in your life. It's easy to keep it organized. Hi, George. Huh? Oh, Georgie's got to come and get my video for a second. It's okay. Come on, George. So just take your time and do the paperwork. Talk to all the people. Talk to your HR. Just make sure that you don't go to work under the influence of the steroids and the Benadryl, especially like the Benadryl, it's like you could see your face. When you look at your face before chemotherapy, it looks one way. Then you start getting the treatment, and you could look at your face and you can see all around your eyes starts getting puffed up. So you can instantaneously see the effects of chemotherapy just by looking at your own face, let alone how you feel. So looking at your skin and the puffiness of it is a pretty good judge of what's going on. See you later. I love you. So do that for yourself. Take your time and be well. Be well before you go to work. Be well in case you're in charge of heavy equipment. I don't know like what you do for a living. It would have to be pretty mild for you to be able to handle it a day after chemo. Oh man, I got my car behind his. Are you gonna move it? All right. So I would just highly suggest, now that moving of the car thing is over, just use your FMLA. That's my whole point, is telling you that it may seem like because you look at my videos and maybe around my house that maybe it's easy for me, and you're in a different position and you're doing different chemo drugs, and life ain't that easy for you. Well, life ain't that easy for anybody. So you need to wake up. If you want to live, you need to wake up. Can't have a pity party. I mean, maybe for a minute or two, but you can't just live in a pity party of your own. Self-pity will kill you. Your family pitying you will kill you. If you don't like something about what's going on, then just change it. It ain't that easy to change things, but life is fluid. You think about it, like say, oh, the earth was covered in water, and then God separated the water from the land. Well, that tells me that life eventually was fluid. It was like our bodies are made out of 80% water. We're fluid. So you need to flow with things. And if things ain't flowing so well, you need to just decongest them. You need to uncongest everything in your body that's not flowing. You need to decongest. Like if you look around my house, there's not hardly anything in here because the clutter was freaking me out. So I uncluttered, and for a couple of years, I didn't even have a picture hanging on my walls. That's how uncluttered it was. So then one Thanksgiving, the kids were like, Mom, can we please just hang pictures back up? So I was like, all right, fine, we can put that, but I couldn't handle it. When I was going through all this stuff, things around me, they were freaking me out, so I had to take everything down. I had to repaint the walls. It's like I was married and the house was like this clay color and like kind of like that Arizona desert southwestern colors. And then I got divorced and I'm like, I'm sick of looking at these walls and these colors. It's like nothing but a bad memory. So I've never had blue in my house before. I've never had blue walls. So I took every single thing down out of my house, had a guy come patch all the holes in the walls, repaint my entire downstairs of my house blue. There's nothing in this house that's not blue in the downstairs. It's one color that I've never been in before. I have no bad memories attached to the color blue. I always think of blue as the blue skies, the blue water. Blue is not a bad color for me. And yellow is in the hallway upstairs so that it brightens the hallways. Yellow is in the hallway going down into the basement. So, yeah, so there's blue and yellow. I brighten up the hallway so you can see going up and down the stairs, but the rest of the house it's sky blue. So if there's something about what happened in your life and you associate colors with the bad things that happened in your life, if you can't get to some counseling to clear those issues up, then if you have them colors around you in your living room or whatever, then change the color, because then when you come walk back into your house, all those memories aren't going to come flooding back into you. So sometimes it's like, this is supposed to be where I feel safe. This is supposed to be where I feel good. This is my home. I don't want a whole bunch of bad memories when I walk through my own front door to come rushing me every time. What I get greeted by when I come home are bad memories. Well, one way to get rid of your bad memories when you walk through your own front door is to change the color. Because your memories are associated with other things. Things trigger your memories, like the smell of something. Like I'm saying, my kids, if they smell vitamins, they're going to remember their childhood. If particular color, like remember on Sybil, was it Sybil, the lady with the 16 personalities, and she was getting tortured in the green room. So she hated the color green. Well, maybe that's not what happened to you, but sometimes we do get tortured a little bit by people that are around us. And there is a particular color around us when it's happening. So get rid of that color. Paint is easy. Even if you can't get somebody to come and paint it for you, slap some paint on there yourself. Get a can of paint out, and in your 10 minutes of just sitting around feeling sorry for yourself or thinking about bad things, take that 10 minutes and cover up some of those memories. Right now, their memories are still going to be there, but they're not going to be triggered by the colors on your walls. So I also just went to a whole bunch of counseling. I just went to counseling until I feel like I don't have pain in my memories. So Wellspring Ministry is very good for helping you to get rid of the pain in your memories by healing your memories through prayer. When you remember something, it's like you purpose and you choose to forgive yourself. You purpose and you choose to forgive that other person. You command the resentment and the anger and the whatever that got into you because of that to leave. So it's like, you know what? In the name of Jesus, I command resentment to leave me now because I have forgiven that. So that now Satan has no power and authority over me anymore in that issue because it is forgiven. That's how he gets his foothold. He gets his foothold because of unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is the simplest part, you would think. But to forgive somebody is not that easy because that person really hurt me and I should just hold this grudge forever. And guess what? It ain't killing him, it's killing you. It ain't killing her, it's killing you. They ain't getting ate up by the cancer, you are. So if you want to do yourself a favor, you need to let some of that shit go. You need to get rid of it. You need to let it go. You need to forgive that person. Forgive yourself for holding on to that grudge. Quit feeling sorry for yourself. Quit using it for your ammunition because, oh, I got my anger, like, well, big deal. You know what anger does? It scares anybody who has fear in them. Yeah, so the people that have fear bow down to the people that have anger. And you can see that stuff happening at work all the time. You got this one person that's flipping out, screaming and yelling, slamming shit around, pointing their fingers, spitting, hissing. They're like possessed. And all the people that have fear are like crumbling in fear and like, oh, like we don't want to trigger his fear. We need to walk on some eggshells. We need to tiptoe around him. We don't want to stir up that anger. You know what? Screw that anger. People that have anger do not intimidate me. It's like, you want to throw down? I'll grab a battle bar. Let's go. You know what? You're at work and that stuff is going on. They got hotlines you can call. You do not have to tolerate people's anger like that. It's like if they use that, that's their number one weapon is their attitude and their anger. And I'm just going to intimidate everybody by throwing these temper tantrums, or maybe I'm the one that has all the anger and I'm going to scream and yell and slam doors and scare my kids. And good for you. Maybe you need to get rid of that. Maybe you need to quit using that as your secret weapon. It ain't so secret that everybody knows about it, that everybody adjusts the way that they act and live their life just so they don't trigger that bullshit coming out of you. I used to be angry. It's like it came out of me, you know, but when I finally figured out like how to deal with it, how to resolve it, it's like, who wants to go to anger management when you could go to anger resolution? Wouldn't you rather resolve those issues than learn how to manage them? You're only going to be able to manage them for so long, and then you know what happens when you get older? You can't manage it no more because now your mind is a little weaker, your body's a little weaker, and then who knows if you just turn into the person that's walking up and down the street screaming and yelling all the time. They're like, oh, there goes crazy whoever. Well, it's because you tried to manage that and stuff it and stuff it and stuff it when one day the stuffings just blew out the seams and now you can't stop it. Because as things happen, you could have been forgiving people, but instead you didn't think it was necessary. And now you're the one that has the life that's falling apart. All those people that you have all that resentment against, it's even more resentment because how could they be so happy and living such a good life over there? And my life is all tore up over here and it's all because of them. And maybe it is all because of them. I'm not saying that that stuff is not real, but how it affects you and how you allow it to continue to affect you, you have control over that. That's what I'm telling you. You gotta get some control over that. And how you control it is to let it go. You're like, oh, you just can't let it go because why? Because that's what fuels your anger and that's what controls all the people around you is your anger and your temper tantrums. And how am I going to be able to control all these people if I don't act like this? Well, maybe you don't need to control all those people. Maybe you need to get a little self-control. Maybe you're the only one that's out of control. How about that? You need to look inside. You don't need to look at all the people around you. This is about you and you healing. It isn't about everybody around you getting well. It's about you getting well. And what do you need to do to get well? One of the things that you need to do to get well is to get rid of resentment. You need to get rid of anger. You need to get rid of hatred. Anger is stored in your liver. So you think you got liver problems? You got to check yourself in the mirror and see if you got anger issues. So if you got anger issues, you probably also have liver issues because anger gets stored in your liver. And sometimes when you're letting all that stuff go, you need to just be like, okay, hit the reset button because now that I prayed about it and I don't have resentment towards that person anymore, I feel a little different. Well, you know what? It's just the new you. Hit the reset button and move on. And then eventually it's like, you kind of get to the point where like, what was I so mad about? Like, why was I so angry? Well, I was angry because the first guy I ever married, he thought he needed to get up in the middle of the night and lecture me about how he had to eat popcorn for dinner one night. Dude, don't wake me up because you had to eat popcorn. Be glad you had something to eat. Get off of me. You know what I mean? It's my new attitude. back then I would sit there for hours when I was 16 years old and listen to him cry about how he had to eat popcorn. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like over and over and over the story of the popcorn. It was torture. He tortured me with the popcorn story. It's like almost makes me not want to eat popcorn, but my childhood memories of popcorn are very fond. My mom made us popcorn every night, just about. I love popcorn. I remember this lady coming down. She's like, "Oh, Joan, are you making popcorn? I smell popcorn. I love popcorn." So my mom would always give her some popcorn, and she would go back upstairs, you know. And I had to only be like 1 or 2 years old. You know, because when we moved into the next house, it was 1963, and I was born in 1961. So I have lots of memories of popcorn. They're very good memories, and he could not wreck my good memories of popcorn. All he did was wreck our marriage because he couldn't get over the fact that he had to eat popcorn for dinner one night, and it was destroying him. So he thought he should torture the people around him with that goofy story. Well, you know what? That was his problem. That was his memory. I'm not a counselor. Talking to me about your popcorn pity party ain't gonna get you better. You need to go to counseling. You know, you need to get real help. I would, if you're having all these issues, emotional issues, you know, like emotional things, once in a while I get choked up and I think that, you know, like I get emotional to the point of crying about things. But since I've been through Wellspring Ministry and dealt with all the pain in my memories, I have a lot of memories, but they're almost like some of the memories are like a joke, like the whole popcorn joke. You know, I'm like, holy cow, who does that to somebody? So, anyway, that is a very good thing that you need to be doing along with getting well from cancer. You need to be getting well emotionally. You need to be getting well physically. You should be getting well financially because if it's putting you down to where you need to sit in your house, one of the things that I did the very first time I had cancer and had to go through chemotherapy is I got all of my finances in order because you know how they tell you, well, you better go get your finances in order. So I did that. I got my will, I got a trust, I put my house in it. Everything goes in the trust. The will talks about what happens with the trust. Costs $1,500, which seems like a lot of money, but for all that peace of mind that okay, now all that stuff is organized. I got my bills all gone out on automatic bill payment. I can tweak it if I want to. I don't let people dip into my accounts. I just send money out. So if I got to cut back, well, guess what? You might only get a half a bill paid this month because I'm cutting back because now I need to do something else. But I leave it set up so that I can tweak it. But pretty much, if you put yourself on a really strict budget, life gets easier and easier. And if you just leave that budget alone, if you pay $20 a month on your, you know, like if you say your gas bill, pay $50 a month, no matter what, every month. Sometimes you'll be negative, sometimes you'll be positive, but they will never be shutting your electric off because as long as you're making payments, they're not coming to shut off your gas, they're not coming to shut off your electric. It's when you quit making payments altogether that people are like, okay, well, eventually you're not going to keep getting this if you think it's free because it ain't free for me. It ain't free to make electricity. Power plants are barely staying afloat. Gas prices are so low that they're putting the power plants out of business. You know what I mean? But you can't run your house off of gas because it's set up to run on electric. So, you know, you're in a catch. So you need to pay your utilities because the utility companies have to also pay their bills. You know, they got to buy the products to make the products. Somebody's got to, you know, like if you're getting some of the products, you got to pay for them. They're not going to ship me AvocCare for free. They don't ship me Young Living or Dr. Schultz or anybody for free, but those guys are on a budget. So I allocate like only a little bit a month to get a couple oils and a little bit a month to get a couple AvocCare products. But I have a lot of products because once you get a big container of post-workout recovery shake, it's going to be a while before that runs out because you don't have to drink it every single day. Everything that I have, I don't take any of it every single day. So anyway, today. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to plant some vegetables for the spring. And if you have things to work on, just stop looking at everybody around you and quit thinking that you have to be in control. I mean, if you're running a house, yes, you do have to be in control. You need to lay down rules and you need to make the people that are in the house follow the rules, but it doesn't have to be a big flippin' wigged out thing. It's like one of my grandson, he's 22, he lives here. He is not allowed to have overnight visitors. So one day, what does he do? He has an overnight visitor. Well, they tell me, well, we just got in at 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever. I'm like, she didn't really sleep here very long. I'm like, whatever, dude. It's like, you know the rules. You're not supposed to have overnight visitors. This is not a flop house. This is my home. I allow you to live here. That is not extended out to all of your friends and people that you think need a place to stay. This is a house that I run, that I let the people who I feel need to have a place to stay. If you start extending that to your friends, then you will be out there living wherever they're living, not here. So I charge them $180. Those are my hotel rates. I want that $180 on the counter today because this is a very expensive hotel. I have internet, I got Wi-Fi, I have food in the fridge. It's a loaded refrigerator. It has heat, air conditioning, showers. So you know what? You want to use my house like a hotel, it's going to be like Disney prices. So now when I see that person over here, they don't even come in the house. They just sit in the driveway because I had a little talk with them too. And I wasn't screaming and yelling, but I just let her know that this is not a flop house. You know, I'm a very nice person as long as you follow my rules. And she could split that $180 with her friend because it's half her fault, or she could just lay the whole burden on him. And then I told her from now on, you guys want to go out and do whatever you do all night, you go get a hotel room. You guys are old enough, you can go stay at a hotel. This is not a flop house. Do not ever come in my house and think you're going to sleep again because you're not. You are not welcome and you're not invited. And I'm going to let you know myself because evidently my grandson did not make that clear to you. So she ain't even come back in the house. I'm like, I don't care. That's what you gotta do when you got these grown-up kids living in your house. I'm like, I'm not gonna come home and all my stuff is gone because you felt the need to let somebody stay here. If I feel the need to let somebody stay here and then they steal all my stuff, fine, that's on me. But I'm not letting my kids do that. They can have their own home and they can invite people over there. Some of these guys are old enough they could leave if they really feel the need to. So they're pretty good about following the rules. So some things, you don't have to be mean about. Yelling doesn't really help. You can't really ground a 22-year-old, so you charge them above and beyond whatever they expected to be charged. And then they are like, damn, that's expensive. When it hits them in the pocketbook, and they know because I am pretty rough, they will pay. It's happened to them before. When they left the refrigerator door open, they had to cough up all the money for the electric bill, and it was sitting on the counter the next day. Haven't seen the refrigerator door left open since. So that's how I deal with it. I don't know, and it's like it keeps everything all pleasurable between us because it doesn't get tense. It's like something happens, I deal with it. I deal with it right away. I don't let it build up. I dealt with him as soon, like first opportunity I had when I talked to him. I just told him that it was going to cost 180 bucks. As soon as she came back over, I let her know how much it was going to cost. Let her know that she wasn't welcome to stay here. And maybe it hurt his feelings or whatever, but he knows the rules, and he don't seem to have no grudge against me. We never, I just told him the next day. I was like, you need to follow the rules, to keep things smooth around here. So set down the rules. If you really have a household that's out of control, you need to write the rules down, put them up on the refrigerator. I used to have a rule on my refrigerator that said something about teenagers and young adults. Tired of listening to your stupid parents? Guess what? Move out, get a job, do it while you still know everything. So that was posted on my refrigerator when my kids started hitting their teen years, because I'm like, you know what, if these guys think they're going to start running over me because their mom is not bright enough to ever like tell them anything they need to be doing, because that is kind of the attitude that they get when they get to be teenagers until they get out in the real world and try living out there and paying all the bills and buying their own food. Then they come back and they're fresh. They got a fresh attitude. So I did it. I did it when I was a teenager. I left home, and then when I came back, I was all about helping my mom pay bills, buy groceries, cook, clean, everything. Didn't take me very long out in the world to figure out that. Got a pretty sweet deal living at home with mom. So, all right, Ho'apanapano, I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. You guys have a great day. I hope any part of this helps. And that's why I always got to say Ho'apanapano at the end of it. In case I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. But, you know, sometimes we get our feelings hurt easy and we got thin skin. But once we deal with our issues, our thin skin gets thick. We get thin skin because we hurt too much and we let the pain stay. And it has no place in us. We should be filled with joy. That's the way that we were created, to feel joy. That's why we have a sense of humor. That's why we have these, you know, like, and everything around us is created to be controlled with these little hands because people made it for people. You know, maybe some things are made for birds and some things are made for dogs, but the majority of all the things I look around my house and see, they are made for people. So just enjoy working with your hands, create something, start new hobbies, and get some little counseling if you need it. Get your bills organized, get every single thing on automatic payment, and just quit thinking about it every day. If you got doctor bills, you need to get on the phone with insurance. If you have insurance. If you don't have insurance, then you just need to set those guys up on automatic payment. As long as you keep sending it, you know, what are they gonna, they could, I don't know, maybe they could take your house. I doubt it though. I never really had anybody come after anything of mine. So, wapanapono. Take it easy. Bye.